Hi, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, before I get started with showing you a photo of the day and a special card, I'd like to do a little shout out for Scott, Reindeer Studios. He came up with this drawing for the Misfits. You got the great Bob Lewis, Hall of Famer, up there eating cereal. George, Hall of Famer, YouTube Hall of Famer, denying Jake his Misfit application. You have me down below with Get Off My Lawn, and Don over there in the bottom corner smoking his cigar. So thanks again, Scott. Made some t-shirts, and I'm sure I'll be rocking one at the National. For the photo of the day, cool photo of Smokey Joe Wood. Yes, Smokey Joe Wood. Here he is in 1919. Unbelievable talent. His career was cut short. His pitching career was cut short because of arm problems, but he came up with Boston, won one year 35, had 35 wins one year. One of the hardest throwers of all time, right up there with Walter Johnson. Just unfortunately with the arm problems, he was on pace to be a Hall of Fame type player. I've read stuff where, the greats of the game said he was one of the best of all time. After the arm problems, he was out of baseball for a year or two, hooked up with Cleveland, like he is here batting, and became a good outfielder, a 280 lifetime hitter. So he might be the first two-way player of all time, even before the Babe. So Smokey Joe Wood. This is a type 3 photo, meaning that it's from a duplicate negative, but it was developed the same time period as the picture was taken, which stamping on the back here says 1919. Really unbelievable for a type 3 photo of this time period, especially an action shot. You don't see too many game action shots because back then the photo technology wasn't like it is today, and I don't know. They say it's a type 3, but it looks like a type 1 to me. But really cool to have this one in my collection. Now for the card I'd like to show you. It's kind of one of my favorite cards. I say that seems like every video, but this one check boxes everything I like about this card, meaning it's a Babe Ruth card. It's rare. There's a mystery behind it. It has a fantastic photo on the front, iconic photo, and a fantastic advertising back. And what it is, it's a 1933 Bluebird card. Bluebird was a grape soda drink. This particular photo, as many of you recognize, this is a Conlon photo, 1927 Conlon photo. On the back here, you're going to see an advertising back where you would turn in 29 bottle caps to receive a Babe Ruth. This says here, home run special glove. Babe advertised for Spalding starting in 1927. Actually, in 1929, he was paid $5,000 to advertise Spalding products. You don't get better than this when it comes to a back. What we know about this card is not a lot. There's some misinformation that this particular card was produced by a company in Florida, and actually the Bluebird drink is actually sold today, but that's not the case. This actual card came from a company called the Citrus Products Company of Chicago. They were in business from 1919 to 1965, and they were marketing and advertising geniuses. What they would do is they would come up with these different fruit drinks, and they would sell the drinks to independent distributors and have them bottle them and sell the grape drink in their particular towns and cities, the Midwest and East Coast. And it kind of gets you off track a little bit because there's some advertising cards. Doesn't have the Ruth on front, but has the similar back. And they would have underneath here, it would have like the York Bottling Company of Pennsylvania. Another one would have the Ginger Ale Bottling Company of Massachusetts. And you're thinking, well, geez, man, who produced these cards? But it was actually the Citrus Products Company of Chicago. They would provide these different independent distributors, the advertising, the marketing, the newspaper ads, the banners, the window displays, and so forth. Now, we didn't know this card existed. In 1994, there was a find. Before 1994, we had no idea, this card, like I said, existed. In 1994, there was a small find of these cards. And I'm sure this is one of the one that was included in the find. Most of the cards that have been graded are mid to high grade. So these cards were uncirculated. It's interesting that you don't see any of these cards come up. Any new finds or somebody discovered this card, in a city or somewhere that has this. So basically all the cards come from this particular find in 1994. There was one card that was found that had a side view of the babe. And that was found in 1999, had the same advertising back. It was found in a scrapbook, glued in a scrapbook. But besides that one card, there hasn't been another discovery. I do have the bottle cap, one of the bottle caps that you could, right here, it's the, you can see, get a close-up up here of the Bluebird. This patent was 1925 for the Bluebird design. It's 6 ounces of carbonated beverage. So kind of cool to have this with the card. This particular image, the Conlon photo, was basically used for, with this Gaudi card. As you can see, we have no idea, or at least my research came up with no idea why it's 1933 Bluebird. Did they just, when this was discovered, they matched it up with the card being a 33 Gaudi and said this is a 33 Bluebird. Could be anywhere from 1927 on. Like I said, this photo's a 27 photo. The glove, he started advertising in 1927 until he retired. There's still a lot of information we don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't have a lot of information on the find, where the cards were found. Were they found in Chicago? I think the building actually still exists in Chicago, even though the company's no longer there. Was it somewhere else? That would kind of help. But definitely this is a Citrus Products Company card. What can I say? Really cool to have this in my collection. So hey, thanks for watching. This is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.